Some City of Fort Smith utility customers are seeing an increase in their upcoming utility bills. City officials say due to a lack of staffing, they were unable to check the meters around the holidays. Now they say they are having to charge for a longer usage date. 5 News reporter Bailey Devane explains.
City officials say last week they started receiving complaints from customers about an increase in their water bill. It wasn't until they opened an investigation they realized they had been charging, in some cases, up to an additional 10 days of usage starting from the beginning of November. The Fort Smith Utility Department took to Facebook, saying up to 10 days of usage could be added to the next bill for some customers. Utility officials say a lack of staffing around the holidays caused the delay in finalizing the meter readings.
The normal billing cycle is 28 to 32 days. Unfortunately, some of the billing cycles that we're seeing are going up to 40 days. That usage is actually being used, but normally would be rolled over to a different bill.
Some customers have expressed their concern about this larger bill. One local restaurant owner says his water bill has increased, and many of his staff also use Fort Smith water utilities.
A lot of these servers are single parents and things like that, so I mean, just a fluctuation of $20 to $30 in a regular monthly bill can be the difference of that next pack of diapers or that next bottle of formula.
Looking to the next bill cycle, officials say the next bill could also be higher, but they say the issue should be resolved by February, and customers should expect lower payments after then.
The middle of February until about the middle of March, those bills may seem lower or have lower usage on them because the time frame may be a little bit more collapsed. So we may go from 40 days now to where you see a 23 to 25 day, 28 day cycle.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Bailey Devane, 5 News.
Utility department officials say they're working to fill their open positions to improve meter reading efficiency in the future.